Hello, everybody. Welcome to the NCGA Valant Ag Weather Outlook, July 30th, 2016. I'm John Felt. Before I start the briefing, I don't know if you've had a chance to take a look at the new NCGA Weather Decisions dashboard. If not, take a look at it. It's at agweatheradvisor.com. Username and password are both NCGA. And I've put together all sorts of things that you can look at with the weather and with water and climate information. There's a menu you can open and dozens of pieces of weather information you can open in Windows. You can position them, monitor a background map while at the same time monitoring other things going on. I have soil information, I have precipitation information, I have temperature information, I have hurricane information, rainfall information, you name it, it's on there. And it only can get better because if you send me comments on something you'd like to put on there, I'll consider putting that in there and we'll tweak it and get it better. So I use it every day. I think you'll really enjoy it. So take a look at it. Okay, starting out today's briefing, for the last 7 days here, precipitation. We had some areas that received rain. Remember I said south of the Ohio River across Kentucky, fairly soaking and heavy rain. Eastern Corn Belt, I know in Ohio we need more rain and a little bit, but really nothing significant. This time of year, I like to look at that area in yellow to really be assured of getting some rain. If not, it can be very scattered. Iowa, northern Missouri, hardly any rain. Really, the most significant rain was eastern parts of Minnesota, across large parts of Wisconsin, and into parts of Michigan. Michigan can also use some rain, but really not a whole lot was received in that area. So you can see here the departure or the percent of normal for the last 7 days, and that big bright swath of white and red is indicating the real dry weather. So the central Corn Belt, much of the eastern Corn Belt. So I would almost say it's been a week of more dry conditions than wet conditions. Now the southeast U.S. I've been keeping an eye on. I know we have some listeners in that area. And we're getting a bit more scattered precipitation. So if you look closely at northern Alabama, northern Georgia, northwest Georgia, I see some little pockets of green, and that's indicating that there was some above normal precipitation. So we're chipping away at it. But further off to the east, you can see extremely dry over most of Georgia, South Carolina, and North Carolina. So soil moisture here across the Midwest, what you can see is what I like to see at this time of year. This is actually pretty significant. We're getting almost into August here. And look at this green, and that's saying soils are still in pretty good shape. White is normal, green is above normal, but we still have some pockets, and I think really the areas right now that stand out to me are eastern and especially southeast South Dakota, parts of eastern Nebraska, parts of Michigan, and large part of Ohio in the primary Corn Belt, and then the southeast U.S. So those are areas that could really use some more rain. So when I go through this briefing, keep that in mind. Now, temperatures last week were unusually warm. Look at Ohio and Michigan, that area that's dry. Could this be some of that feedback? The drier it is, the soils don't produce as much moisture into the air through evaporation, evapotranspiration. We don't get as many clouds. And look at that. That was the hot spot, 6 to 8 degrees above normal. But almost the entire Corn Belt had above normal readings. Matter of fact, almost the entire country had above normal readings last week, with the hottest anomalies over the eastern U.S., northeast U.S., and western U.S. Okay, like the theme I've been talking about for quite some time now is really the position of the jet stream. The core of high pressure is going to tell us really what's going on with our weather. Now, I have another wild card I'm going to be talking about in a minute that other than this, but I wanted to sort of mention the things we want to look at is if you're under the high pressure, you're looking at hot and dry. But if you're in this area of energy here, you're going to have a chance of precipitation. That's pretty typical for mid to late summer, where everything sort of quiets down, but the upper Midwest and the Great Lakes remain under this jet energy, and you do have a chance of rain. So this week, the next 5 days, it's sort of centered over the central U.S., but there's a hint at some energy over the upper Midwest. Temperatures this week, the next 5 days, are going to be above normal. Eastern Corn Belt closer to normal to a little bit above normal. And then over the central plains, that's where the hottest temperatures will be this week. And that's really been the story for most of the summer so far. We've had a bit of a dip in the jet stream over the Eastern Corn Belt that has kept temperatures a bit more summer-like. But over the Western Corn Belt, that's where we've had the unusual heat. So oftentimes when you have that gradient in temperature, you have a very weak, and I want to say very weak boundary, and that will be around this week. It'll be shifting up to the north, but you can see on Monday where it's at, and we need something to focus the precipitation. So we will have some scattered showers and thunderstorms. Some areas, like last week, will get a soaking rain. Many areas will not. Now the wild card, and this is looking out further, I do want to keep you updated on the tropics. We do have two systems here, one here and one here. And currently there's just a moderate chance of development. Really nothing all that exciting. They're not all that impressive, but the outlook on 5 days does show some medium probability of development. And right now it looks like it'd bring it into the West Gulf, south of that area of high pressure. So I don't think from a ag standpoint we need to have any concern with this. And I'm not always saying that this is bad. Many times this is a very beneficial type rain. But right now I just wanted to mention if something develops and it's too early to say for sure, it looks to me like it looks like into a West Gulf type situation or into Mexico. Okay, so back to the more immediate future. Here's your rainfall forecast for the next 7 days. And like I said, some areas could get a soaking of rain, but this is a type of pattern. There's just really no high confidence in where that rain will be. But looks like parts of Illinois, parts of northern Indiana, parts of northern Ohio, and surrounding regions could get some soaking rain. But again, I think we're looking at mainly a week of that 20 to 30% chance, widely scattered. And when I look at it next week, the percent of normal, I think we're going to have more areas with below normal rainfall than above. But at least we're getting a chance of rain. Look at Texas. We've had many weeks down in Texas without any rain, and I'm really concerned about a flash drought situation developing in that region. Okay, so August 4th through 9th, we see an area of high pressure, and this is just this overall broad area of high pressure. This is a summertime pattern. Really, over the central and southern part of the U.S., really no atmospheric energy, upper atmospheric energy, so maybe a chance of some rain, but just nothing organized. This is a pattern, though, that could bring some embedded flows over the upper Midwest, Great Lakes, perhaps even the Ohio River Valley during this period. As far as temperatures go, in that 6 to 10 day range, it looks like above normal temperatures, not a whole lot of change. And then as we get into, this is August 9th through 14th. I got to get used to changing these dates. This is August 9th through 14th. So towards the middle of August, models have been pretty consistent in bringing this high pressure off to the west. And what that is going to do is bring unusually hot temperatures further to the west. But in response to when this builds, this will probably dip. This could bring it maybe even a better chance of rain as that dips. We'll probably have a front in this region, and this will also probably moderate the temperatures, and you can see that in the 11 to 15 day range over the central and eastern Corn Belt near normal temperatures. The heat shifts out to the west. So here's your precipitation forecast anomalies for week 1. I think this is overblown for week 1, but we'll have to see. It's saying above normal precipitation. I think it's more near normal most spots. Very little change in week 2, and that probably I do agree with that front around. So at least we're looking at a chance of some precipitation. Looks like overall hot, but the core of heat will be shifting gradually to the west. But I think overall, when we add up this daily rainfall, ample rainfall, 20-30%, we're going to be holding our own in many areas. So again, take a look at the Weather Decisions dashboard. Let me know what you think. There's my email. Again, agweatheradvisor.com, NCGA, NCGA. Have a great week.